Hello there guys, it's LaserBeast here with a pre-patch guide for Dragonflight. So as we know now, the pre-patch is going to be in two phases. Now this video is going to focus on the first phase and the things that we can do, everything new that's coming, and at the end I'll touch on the things that you can no longer do when this phase goes live. So the first phase of this will go live on the 25th of October for America and the 26th for EU and everyone else. So what do we get? So first of all we get access to the new talent trees, which is a biggie. Now these are going to change how your class feels to play. For some classes only a little, but for some it's quite a lot, quite a big change. But I can say pretty much for everybody it's an improvement on the original specs that we've had through Shadowlands. So expect it to probably take you a little while to get used to how things are playing now. But if you do just want to get straight into play quickly and you don't want to spend loads of time on this, what you can do is just select the option on the talents to use the starter build, and it'll fill your talents out for you in a build that works pretty decently in most situations. So basically I recommend that you have a little play around with these, check out some builds for your class from maybe your favourite content creator on your spec or class, or from your class discords, or even better just go through the trees yourself and try and come up with a build that you find fun that works for you. So remember now that you can change talents from anywhere in the world, you don't need to be in a rested area. You can do this as long as you're not in combat, so just have a real good play with all the new talents to find out a build that you enjoy, and make as many templates as you need to switch up for different situations, such as Mythic Plus, a single target raid boss build, PvP, etc, etc. You can also now export and import builds quite easily, so you may also want to make use of that feature too to share builds with your friends or to copy builds from other creators online. Now normally each loadout that you create will have its own set of action bars set up as you set them to use with that build when you save the build. But if you want your action bars to remain the same as you've set them up with the spells in the same places, whenever you change builds you can do that by checking the Use Shared Action Bars option. There's also a search bar in the talents window so you can look for specific abilities that might have spell synergies, or you can simply find abilities that aren't currently on your action bars. It's also important to note here that the tier set bonuses that we have in Shadowlands currently have been disabled in the pre-patch, so you no longer need to worry about those. Now normally they wouldn't be disabled so soon leading up to an expansion, but because the talent trees have some pretty drastic changes, they've decided to go ahead and just set these as legacy straight away. But at least it's one thing that you don't need to think about, so you can just carry on gearing up and things without having to worry about maintaining these set bonuses. The second biggest thing that we get in the first phase of the pre-patch is the big new UI, so this is quite a big one. So for those of you who use the base Blizzard UI, you probably have quite an easier transition into this, you can just tweak things as you like, but regardless of what UI that you use, I do recommend you give this UI a try out and have a play with customizing it around to suit your needs. It is fairly good overall. You can change pretty much every setting that you think you'd want to, but if you are someone that does use a complete UI replacement like myself, such as Elf UI, you may just want to carry on using that and just make sure you keep it updated. Which leads nicely into another little sub point on this. A lot of your add-ons will need updating for the pre-patch, there's a lot of changes going on. It may break a lot of add-ons, so for the first couple of days it might be a bit rough, some of your add-ons might not work. But once the add-on creators have had a little bit of time, I'm sure everything will be running smoothly. Just keep on checking back to see if anything needs an update. So for anybody that does use a complete UI replacement add-on, you basically just got a choice. Do you stick with that or do you go back to the Blizzard UI and enjoy the new changes? Now personally, I think I'm going to do that myself. I'm going to disable Elf UI for a bit and just play around with the new UI. I've been using it quite a lot on the beta and kind of got used to it, tweaked it a little bit, and I think it does do the job quite well, and it's also a lighter load, it's less going on for your game to run, and it's also one less thing to worry about keeping updated, so I'm going to be using that for the time being. So the next thing that's coming, for any mages, priests or rogues, you can now be any race you want to be, so you may want to make a new one of those classes and level up as a new race, or even just buy a race change. If you've been destined to be a Tauren rogue all your life, now's your time to make your dreams come moo. So let's go through some other nice changes. So Resurrection Sickness has been made to only last 1 minute now instead of 10. But the durability loss that you get from resurrecting a spirit healer has been increased to 50%, so this is going to just cost you more for repairs, but at least you won't be effectively useless for 10 minutes while you wait for resurrection sickness to fall off. Barbershop services are now completely free of charge, so just change things around as much as you want there. And we also get the new login screen and the Dragonflight login music to enjoy. There's tons of little in-game UI features to enjoy that you'll notice as you play through, so one of them is the interact key, so this is quite a nice change. You can set this to any keybind, and when you're near an NPC you can press the interact key, which defaults to F, so you don't need to actually click on the NPC to start an interaction. It might take a little bit of getting used to, but it is something lovely to have as an option. There's also been some updated controller support as well for anyone that uses a gaming controller to play a Warcraft, so this is also going to help with that too. And we also now have the option to press and hold cast. So if you're spamming a spell, for example, such as Shadow Bolt, instead of pressing the ability every time you need to cast it, you can simply just hold down the button that you've got that spell bound to, and you will just continuously cast it in sequence until you release the button. There are a few other nice additions that are in the official release notes, and I'll put a link to those in the description below so you can go and check those out. Now, some brand new achievements for the collectors out there. So for the 3 battle pet collectors that are watching this video, there's new achievements for collecting 1250, 1500, 1750 and 2000 unique pets that give other pets as a reward along the way. And there's now also an achievement for collecting 500 mounts usable by a single character, which awards the otherworldly Otuk mount. Okay, so let's have a look at the content that you can still do even though the season has ended. So you still can do Mythic Plus dungeons and get the Keystone Master achievement to earn the Restoration Deathwalker. You can even still earn the portals for timing the dungeons on a plus 20 or higher key. And you will still be able to increase your Mythic Plus rating as you progress, earning Valor points to upgrade your gear still. And any activities like Mythic Plus, Raiding and Rated PvP will still fill up your weekly vault, so you can keep getting rewards from that. So this is pretty nice for anybody trying to gear up a new class, for example, ready for the expansion launch. So as for raiding, all of the Shadowlands raids will become fated permanently until Dragonflight launch, so you'll be able to earn the Slimecat mount still, Mr. Jigglesworth Senior, as well as any raid achievements, titles and teleports for completing the raids on heroic and mythic difficulties. If you're still working on getting the puzzling Keitel diners, then you can still earn those and buy the gear with them from the vendors next to the Great Vault, and you will also be able to still upgrade those items as well using the ciphers that you get from boss kills. For PvP, it's a similar story, so you'll be able to increase your rating, you'll still be able to make progress in getting the Vicious mount or the other Vicious saddles, and you can still earn Honour and Conquest to be able to buy and upgrade your gear, obviously depending on your PvP rating. So what about the things that you can no longer do when the Season 4 officially ends? So while you still can earn Mythic Plus rating, you won't be eligible to get the Shrouded Hero title once Season 4 has ended, and same for the Eternal Gladiator title and the Hero of the Horde/Alliance Eternal titles too, along with the Season 4 Gladiator mount. You can't get those. And also the achievements for the individual PvP ranks, getting to those for the first time, you won't be able to get those, and you won't be able to earn the Elite Armor sets, the Weapon Illusion, the Cloaks and the Tabard. However, for the PvPers out there, you will be able to access the new system, the Rated Solo Shuffle, so you can now get a rating for each one of your specs, and you can jump in and try that out, and eventually you'll be able to earn seasonal rewards and achievements and work towards the Vicious mounts, and it will count towards your weekly vault progress for earning points in a rated PvP setting, so you can go and give that a go, brush up your skills in the Solo Shuffle. So that is pretty much everything that's coming in the first wave of the pre-patch. The Drakthir Evokers will be available on the 15th or the 16th of November for US and EU respectively, with the new Forbidden Reach starting area for Evokers being playable at that time too. We'll also get the new revamped dungeon, Alderman Legacy of Tyr to play through, as well as the invasion style events, the Primal Storms to go and tackle, with some decent rewards coming from that. So there'll definitely be a guide coming on that just before it launches, so make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on that one. And if you did enjoy this video and found it useful, please do leave a like on this to help the channel out. Thank you very much for watching. I've been LaserBeast, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.